Very, very good.
Streets.
I'm still here.
It'd have to be better.
I'm ready.
We'll get the meeting started. Victoria, will you leave us alone? I got it, okay. Stop. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Look at we'll tag team. Okay, everybody's here tonight. Mayor, does anybody need the minutes read? Excuse me, the minutes read from the last meeting? Do I have a motion to accept the approval of the minutes from last meeting?
I'll make a motion.
Motion, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, raise your right hand and say aye.
Aye.
We have no public recognitions or reports.
No, that's it.
Okay. Do we have any, no public? Good. Moving right on. Unfinished business, Drexel site update.
Yes, Mayor, I will take that on real quick. Again, not much has changed since last month. We're still working on wrapping up the final invoice or the final punch list and working with our engineers on that. So that'll take a little bit. We still haven't paid out that final retainage, and we'll do that once our engineer is happy with where it's at. Was talking earlier before the meeting, but we do have hopefully an agreement on mowing it in the near future. We're gonna let it grow over the summer to take hold, and then if we have somebody who's potentially interested in mowing it for free, but just wants the hay collected on site. So we'll talk more about that when it comes to it. So.
Come up fast, hadn't since all this
Oh,
rain.
yeah, the rain and sun has been good for it. So
Yeah.
anyway, that's the only update I have for the industrial site at this time, unless there are questions.
Anybody have any questions?
Quick question.
Go ahead.
Where do we stand on what we are doing versus what was left off the drawings in compared to the retainage? Is there any effect to that?
No, the retainage is based on the first change order, and it's just a percentage. I think it's 10%. So that's all it is. They've completed all the work. It's just a matter of making sure that we're happy with the product and go.
But we still have some stuff to pick up.
What do you mean?
I thought you mentioned one time about an engineering error.
Oh, that's the floodplain. That's outside of the contract with Clary Hood.
Gotcha.
That's got to do with our engineering.
Okay.
So we're working on some floodplain map amendments that we were able to do. Yeah. We're handling that though outside of the Clary Hood contract.
Had a little bit of deterioration from the rain, didn't we? But we got that took care of.
Yeah, we had some erosion. We've sent all that to the engineering team.
Wouldn't
And we have a year warranty on the work. So, a year from March, we'll go out and we'll make sure that everything is held up for a year. And if it hasn't, we'll bring them back to fix it.
It wasn't nothing really major, was it?
We had a little bit of runoff on the back side of the front pad, but nothing terrible.
5B, approval of Timothy Dula facade grant. I know they turned it down.
Yeah, so the update,
Rescinded it.
we had tabled this discussion till this month. I worked with the applicants on what I thought the board was looking for as regarding a plan that was discussed last meeting, and they opted to instead just rescind that grant. So they're no longer applying for it. So I just wanted to bring that up to your attention. Since we tabled it, they rescinded that. So there's no action to take, just for your information.
All right, new business, public hearing for 26-27 budget, so we need to open up.
Yep, we need a motion.
Do I have a motion to open up for a public hearing for the budget?
I'll make a motion.
Motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor, raise your right hand and say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Okay, we are now in, public hearing for the budget of 26 and 27. You want to say something before we?
I can start.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Do we have anybody signed up? We don't have anybody signed up. So, Yep, that's fine. I will start though real quick. Just a quick highlight. You all have had an opportunity to dissect it, hopefully. There are some minor adjustments in the budget from our last meeting, but they're really minor. They have mainly to do with our healthcare costs coming in. And I'm gonna give you all something here in a second that I wanna make sure we talk about before we commit to the budget. But those healthcare costs are incorporated in this budget, so I had to move some things around, to make sure it balanced. So the budget now is 1.86 million in general fund with that same property tax increase that we had proposed, 39 cents per $100 valuation. And then this is a breakdown of those revenues, where they're coming from. So you have an idea. And again, it hasn't changed much since you got your budget notebook and presentation last month. And again, there's the property tax benchmarking that compares us to the region with the proposed tax rate, 39 cents. We're still one of the lowest full-service towns in the region. And our directional rate since 2010 is also listed up there, it being 38 cents for majority of the time the past 15 years. These are our expenses in the general fund. Again, public safety accounts for 50% of our expenditures. We are looking to purchase firearms, PPE, radios, body cameras, or pay a payment on body cameras, and some recreation maintenance projects. Around 90K is what I'm estimating there, depending on things that may happen during the year. As we know, things happen. Sometimes you can't plan for. And then we are going to be purchasing large equipment, a police SUV, grapple truck, leaf vacuum truck, and a sewer trailer. And that's how it breaks out. And I do have a little graphic here. And we'll be sharing this on social media, assuming the budget is adopted. This is your dollar of tax money and where it goes. So as you can see, half your dollars go into public safety, fire, and police. And about 25% goes to public works, which includes sanitation. Those are our contract with Republic, and our PAL bill work, which is streets. And then about 19% is going to recreation next year. And about 6% is going to general government, admin, the board, that kind of thing. So I thought that was a useful tool to kind of illustrate how your taxes are spent here in the town of Drexel. And the electric fund, a $2.431 million budget. Nothing has changed on here. Everything sits as was presented last month. So nothing really to discuss there. That rate increase of 4% is still included in the budget, which is just offsetting a 3% rate increase from the Municipal Power Agency with an additional percent just for internal costs. Water and Sewer Fund is also the same as it was presented last month, around $1 million. And we have a capital project savings of $138,000 budgeted. And then, of course, that new equipment that we're going to get financed is split here. And then that $4.99 minimum rate increase, that's water and sewer increase for Drexel customers. That's based on the engineer analysis that was provided by McGill Engineering. And those are how your expenses are broken down.
Does that include our, from Morganton Valley?
Yes. It assumes those increases.
Their increases, okay.
Yes, sir. And then this is our benchmarking on the utility information. Again, our electric rate compared to our competitors outside of other municipal power agency members, we're still going to be well below the next highest. And then water, similarly, we're going to be a little higher than Morganton. I'm not sure what Morganton's going to do with their residential rates. They don't adopt their budget until late in the month. But I assume they will be going up, would be my assumption. So we'll probably be even closer to them once they get that final number adopted. And that is an overview of the budget. So real quick, if the board would indulge for just a second. This is the comparison of, we talked about, I had emailed you all about health insurance costs, and we have a potential option for a new health insurance. Yeah. You won't pass one to Kristen. I think I have enough for everybody. Yeah. So this is from our broker. The left hand is our current cost, current coverage. That option 7 that's highlighted here is a new option. It's Angle Health, which is it would be a self-funded plan, and it would use the Cigna network. It's got the same coverage other than the RX being a little bit different. first tier starting out at $15 and going up from there. Whereas our current RX tier starts at $4. So based on this is gonna save us roughly $20,000 because they do cover retirees, which our current plan does not. So we have to put our current retirees that we pay health insurance for on an individual healthcare plan. And anybody who pays individual healthcare plans can tell you, they're more than double the price of a group plan. So in order to have long-term savings, I thought this would be a good alternative option. Given the coverage is the same, the Cigna network is fairly large, that I think it'd be worth doing for a year. And of course, if we get to this time next year and we don't like it, our employees don't like it, we can always go back to Blue Cross Blue Shield, fully insured. So I wanted to present that to the board to see if we're comfortable moving forward with a new plan, and if not, we'll just need to expect that the cost of health coverage will have to be incorporated into the budget, which is going to be about $20,000 more annually.
I'm gonna save 20,000 on this Cigna plan, plus the retirees get.
And I know Victoria is in the healthcare industry, so she may have some input.
Well, I will say, from someone who has to deal with both of these insurances in a long-term care setting, I prefer dealing with Cigna over Blue Cross,
Wow.
to just sum it up. They pay better as far as hospitals, long-term care, they pay similar to a traditional Medicare or a PDPM, so it's not like so it is like a managed care plan, but it's not like a United Healthcare Blue Cross situation, so Cigna tends to work out better.
Cool, that's good to hear. And I will say our broker, he said he wouldn't offer anything to us if he didn't think it was a good alternative option. And I trust our brokers. I think that they're trying to do us right here. But with anything, it's a change. So that's going to require us to inform, and we got short notice. So I've told our department heads to kind of give a heads up, but especially those who are on medications are going to have to, you always have to re-up that stuff with your doctor if you change to a different provider. So there'll be some growing pains if we do switch, but I think for the $20,000 a year savings, it's worthwhile to do
It's
so.
very similar, but I mean,
Yeah, it is.
Looks to me like it's more expensive.
Well,
It is because that's the current year plan. The renewal of that same plan is about 25% higher.
All right, thank
Yeah, thank you for
I'm like,
clarifying
wait a
that.
second,
Thank you for
the
clarifying.
numbers.
Yeah, this is what we're currently paying. That is not the same rate that we were quoted for next year. It went up, and as you all probably heard in the news, we had subsidies expire, all kinds of stuff happened in the healthcare market the past year that have caused this pressure and increase. So for a 3% increase, but the coverage on retirees saving us money ultimately, that's to me it's a huge huge cost savings and probably worthwhile to do. And if we get to next year and we're like, well, we didn't find a benefit in that, we'll certainly go back to, they'll always take you back.
so we definitely need feedback from staff.
Yeah, and I'll work on that. And as you all know, I'm covered by the town's health insurance, so I will be having to deal with it as well. So I will certainly let you know if there are problems. And our broker has said that they don't have any problem helping us navigate any claims issues, that kind of thing. We'll work through all that.
So I'm understanding that the current retirees are retrofitted back into this? It's not
Correct.
like- Okay,
We would move our retirees. We only have one retiree that is paid with an individual healthcare plan. We used to have two, but one of them aged out. We have one that's on COBRA, which meant you got to keep the same rate until 18 months later, then he's going to go up. So we've been able to work around it till this point, but we know we've got at least a few more retirements coming up in the next 5 years. So, long term, the savings is huge. And I mean, short term, a $20,000 savings in 1 year to me is nothing.
That's a lot of money.
It's a lot of
Yeah,
money.
I'm just surprised that a healthcare would come back and say, oh yeah, we'll cover your other retirees, even though they're retired.
Yeah, and I know it's a bad word nowadays, but apparently this firm does use a lot of AI to help with their underwriting. So they have overhead costs that are a little lower than like a Blue Cross Blue Shield. That's my understanding of how they come in lower.
The only other question I'd ask is do we know how old or how established this Angel Health is?
Yeah, 2019. So they haven't been around very long. but they do have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. They do have some complaints, but then if you Google any insurance company, they have complaints, so it's not new either.
They all kind of suck.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be honest. I didn't know what that option.
Which one was it, the renewal? Oh, no.
The middle one.
Option 6.
So like you said,
Edna was,
like you said, we could always change it after a year.
yeah, we're not locking into like a contract for like 10 years or anything. And I think the state health plans also maybe changing, there's a lot going on.
Yeah, we're changing that Aetna, I think.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Of course, we got Humana now.
To my point, yeah. The health insurance industry is just what it is.
Once you can, traditional Medicare is the way to go.
But I'm on the state plan since I've retired from the state, so.
The only, if you all are okay with that discussion, the only other, item I have, in your packet, I had initially included a, salary schedule and step plan. This is not any different, other than, as you recall, in one of the budget workshops, we talked about extending that, health, or making the step plan go a little higher to a 20-year career instead of a 12-year career, which is what it's currently at. So this is just, with the budget, this would be adopted. And all it is just adds on to some steps so that employees who are here for a longer period of time or have more experience when we hire them are able to, we're able to pay them within the plan what they should get. So that's all this is. And if you have any questions about it, I'd be happy to answer. All it did different from the budget, presentation was it extended that, plan out another 8 steps to allow room for 8 more years of growth in the pay plan. The initial pay didn't change at all. So, and then part of the reason we wanted to do this is to give people who are later in their career more room to grow. But also it's a good attraction tool for those who have more experience, who are sometimes harder to attract at lower salaries, unless they're leaving for a reason that we may not want them for.
Going back to this insurance,
Yeah.
I was just happened to think about something. Our 39 cent is going to take the recreation department up to 80, right? The new one will,
Yeah.
and then this savings of 20% will go back, so there'll be 100,000 for recreation.
Yeah, so we will be putting the savings we have in the health plan back into recreation.
So it'll basically be 100,000.
Correct.
You did.
When you say recreation, is it programs and everything, or is it just?
No, just
Facilities.
maintenance and facilities. Yeah, we're not increasing like, salaries or anything, or operations. It would be for maintenance projects.
You know, that air conditioning stuff.
And the roof?
Yeah, really, yeah.
List is long,
Yeah.
right?
Okay. All right.
Okay, and that's all I have for the budget, unless there are further questions about it. I'm happy to
Does
answer.
anybody have anything else? No? Okay. Do I have a motion to close the public hearing? I'll make a motion. Motion, do I have a second?
Awesome.
Second. All in favor, raise your right hand, and say aye. Aye. Okay, so now we get to vote on it, don't we?
That's correct, sir.
Okay, do I have we'll have it's a 6B, approval of fiscal year 26-27 budget ordinance. Do I have a motion on approval of the budget?
I'll make a motion to approve the budget.
Do I have a second? Second. Does anybody have any comments or anything they want? Anything good? Okay, everybody in favor, please raise your right hand and say aye. Aye. All right, thank you, good deal. Next one is approval of 26 through 28 Western Piedmont Council of Government Planning Code Enforcement and GIS contracts.
I'll take that one as well, Mayor. So hopefully we can start knocking some of these next ones out. So given that we've adopted the budget, we are due for renewing our contracts with the Western Piedmont Council of Governments. Those contracts are within your packet here. And I can go through the costs real quick. Just so we know what those are. There were slight increases, nothing crazy, nothing that would be outside of the span of control. The code enforcement contract, I did that one first, so it is $26,051, and that's a 2-year contract, so that's split between 2 years. The GIS maintenance services, and that's mainly using GIS so they can pull our maps on a database, so we don't have to buy it separately. Those applications can cost a lot of money. Where is that one's cost at? That's $12,472 over 2 years. And then the only difference in the planning, when the planning one's only for 1 year, we're doing a 1 year contract on that. And that is $18,095, and that's for 4 hours of planning services per week, and that is for a year. And I'll be happy to answer any questions about those contracts. Again, the GIS, the code enforcement would be extended for a 2-year term. The planning would be for a 1 year.
What the difference?
Their planning division over there at the COG is kind of changing the way they're doing things. And they're looking at some of their fees and assessments, and they've opted to do a 1 year contract instead of a 2 year. That wasn't our decision, that was theirs.
Guys, I've been on this board for almost 10 years or so now. And I tell you what, without the Western Piedmont Council of Government, there's a lot of things we wouldn't have got done without their help.
I was about to say, I'm a big fan.
And there's been, not here, but there's been issues or comments about it in other places, but I'll tell you what, guys, they're one of the best people we could partner up with. They're good value for the dollar. They're there, they've helped with everything. I mean, Bill can go to them anytime, do whatever we need, you know. They got all kinds of help that they give us and they offer, and, you know, that Scott, they even went through, they done our town manager process whenever Will come along.
That was impressive, the way they done that, the way they had it lined out for us also.
Yeah, I mean, they had it all right there together. Yeah, guys, we can't get without them.
No, I think it's a great value for the dollar for the town.
How does it compare to past year's fees or contract?
Yeah, it's, the planning is a little bit more, it's about 15 this current year, so it went up about $3,000. The other two went up by, I believe, 4% since 2.
Is that the total of the 26,051?
We're at,
I'm looking at the agreement between Western
Yeah.
Piedmont and the town of Drexel.
yes, that must be it.
26. The only thing I think we'd have to.
Oh, that's for the code enforcement over 2 years. Yep.
Okay, I think we'd have to change just on the signature on page 3. It says Town of Cedar Rock.
Oh, no.
We might have
Yeah.
to cross that.
I should have proofread this a little better. Thank you, sir, for noticing that. That's in Caldwell County. That's a golf community. So, the gentleman who wrote this agreement, he's the contract town manager for Cedar Rock. So
Okay.
I assume
I
that's
just
why
saw
that's
it.
there. Thank you for noticing that, though. Hopefully the other ones are correct.
Just want to make sure the money was the same for us, not them.
Yeah, that should be the same. All right, that's all I have on that item.
Yeah.
Just we can approve these in bulk with one motion.
Do I have a motion to approve the 26 through 28 Western Piedmont Council Planning Code Enforcement and GIS contract?
Motion.
Motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, raise your right hand, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, 6D, approval of the reps ordinance.
Yep, this is another formality we have to do. We have it's called the Electric Rate Rider REPS, or Renewable Energy Portfolio Standards Charge. It's on everybody's tax bill. It's a small amount, but we're required to do a separate ordinance for this, even though it's in our electric charges. It went from, for residential accounts, it's going to 91 cents, and I believe prior it was 85 cents. And commercial accounts, 491, prior it was like 485. And then we don't have any industrial accounts currently, so that's
These are flat fees.
yeah, it stays the same. It doesn't go up with usage. It's just if you have a commercial account, that's what you pay. If you have a residential account, that's what you pay. Again, just a formality. And those charges are given to us by electric cities. We don't select those.
Negotiated anybody.
I mean, I think we could not charge it theoretically, but we are paying this fee. So they're taking it, we're taking what we're charged for that portfolio and just offsetting it to residential.
Anybody got anything else? Okay, do I have a motion to approve the REPS ordinance?
I'll make a motion to approve the REPS ordinance.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, raise your right hand and say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, 6E, what's number 6E, approval of Drexel Industrial Special Project Ordinance Amendment.
Yep, so I'll take this one as well. So with our, so for those who don't know, for any project outside the regular budget, like if it's a multi-year project or a big capital project, we adopt a separate ordinance to track the, how we pay for that, and how the budget goes. So this is for the redevelopment of the industrial site. We have a ordinance, and we actually amended it about a year ago when we received, or when we executed the contract for the grading, if you recall. Most of you were here for that. Now we're just kind of shoring that up because we've had our final invoice and we're just making sure we have everything in line there. So the biggest change and how it's broken down is that there are revenues which are broken down by the granting agencies, because we had a lot of grants in this project, and then our town contributions. And then we have the expenditures broken out by category, like demolition, engineering, construction, administration, and so on. So we have changed the contract and amended it to where we incorporated the additional $1.6 million in CDBG funding we received last summer. So we've already accepted that money, but we just hadn't adjusted the ordinance yet. So we're adjusting that to make sure that that revenue shores up. We're reducing our town of Drexel contributions to $1 million. The only reason being, we're not going to spend that much, but just so we have a little bit of room, just in case we have some last minute engineering work that we need to pay for, or if something else comes up that we need to take care of. So, cause we don't want to close this out yet, cause we're still working on the site and there could be more things to come. So I'm just leaving a little room in there for that expenditure. Of course, we wouldn't spend anything without first going through a contracting process. The ball game. And then, we changed our expenditures, our site preparation from 3.4 million, and just offset all those additional revenues to site preparation at 4.8 million. So in other words, we're just shoring up everything with new grants and the contract expenses that we actually were charged, and left a little room for other projects in the future. Be happy to answer any questions about that.
So we will eventually close this out.
The goal will be to close it out. I think once we get all the engineering closed out, that'll probably be when we close this project ordinance out and sure it all up, make sure it's closed. And then another reason why I want to leave it open is because we still have our fiscal year audit, and they're going to have to do a single audit on this for federal regulations, because we've got federal money in this project. So we want to keep it open just in case we need to make some changes because we find an error or something in the accounting. And once we get all that and sure up all that, then we'll officially close it. And probably start a new one for future development of the site, because we're certainly not done spending money there.
So educate me just a minute. So
Yep.
you're saying that at some point when we potentially sell this property, there'll be an ordinance to this?
No, I'm referring to if we had to do like an electrical project to upgrade electric, or if we got to the spec building game and we wanted to help pay for a spec building, anything like that.
Okay.
We may do another one, but it'd probably be outside the scope of this, because this was just for the grading and demolition work, right? So once we get all the engineering wrapped up, I think that'll be a good opportunity. And the audits wrapped up, that'll be a good opportunity to close this out. So probably in the winter of this year, next.
Right.
Yes.
I have a motion to accept the approval of the Drexel Industrial Special Project Ordinance Amendment. Motion, do I have a second?
I make a second.
Second. All in favor, raise your right hand and say aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Okay, 6F, approval of contract for demolition of 200 Park Avenue.
Yeah, just blink leaves here.
Yeah, come on up to the podium, please.
And I'll just say that,
You can go ahead.
yeah, you all have your, we got bids back for demolition of the 200 Park Avenue building. Those are included here. Our low bidder was Carolina Clearing and Excavation out of Taylorsville for $19,500. So I was just gonna ask you all to award that contract, but I know Ms. Blankley would like to say something to the board.
Yeah, I was wondering, can I just turn the deed to the property over to the town of Drexel? Just turn the deed over to you.
Rob?
It's free and clear of any mortgage. There's no mortgage on it or anything.
I don't think there's a problem with that.
I think legally the town's allowed to accept, I guess, a donation. Is that considered a donation of property?
I just want it out of my mind.
I know we did that pretty much with the Drexel site.
Well, and
We
it's,
forgave some taxes for that, but
yeah, and it's right kitty corner from here, so, I mean, you might be able to use it for some municipality type thing or something.
I don't think there's a problem with it. I think it's the sale of the property where it causes some issues.
We would have to go through a process to sell it.
Correct.
You would,
If you
even
were
if,
selling.
even if I turn the deed over to you?
Well, when we sell property, we have to go through a state mandated process. It's not terribly complicated, but we can't just like turn around and sell property to whomever. There's like an upset bid process.
As far as
Well, I was
donation,
just thinking if the town wanted it for some of their own purpose, since it's just kitty corner from here. But I just wondering if I could just turn the deed over
I
to the
think you
town.
can. I assume you'd want to check it and make sure everything
like a
wasn't a
donation.
gas station with
Yeah, we don't want any
underground
strings.
tanks inside, something like that, which I doubt.
We'd have to do a title search and then a transfer of deed at an attorney's office. Is that something you can handle for us?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's,
Very generous of you.
That is very generous. We would do that work. It's not a problem. Talking a lot of money.
so of course, we would be on the hook for the demolition costs, of course. Cause we still need to demolish, it still needs to be demolished. Unless we didn't demolish and tried to sell it with the building on it, which would be hard to do.
So how does that affect the budget we just approved? We got one for that?
So the demolition?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got room in the budget. We're gonna do it immediately.
Okay.
I might mention I had a bid of $12,000 for the demolition and removal of the property. I don't know if you want to save 7,000 or if you're committed to that.
Yeah, if they didn't bid it, they didn't bid it, they didn't bid it. Yeah. So that's up for discussion of the board.
So I guess the question is there a process between us and them to accept it, or do we just say, thank you for the offer, we're going to do our due diligence?
I think
Get
we need
back.
to do the due diligence.
Definitely.
Make sure the title is,
Before we
Yeah,
vote,
she
before we
says-
vote, probably.
yeah. I'll probably put that off a month.
Till next month's meeting,
I think we can get that done.
till July's meeting.
Yeah, I mean, it would be a simple
Just
like,
send
title
me a
search.
reminder, yeah. And get a deed drawn up. Is it just owned by you?
Mhm.
Bad question, are you married?
No.
Okay. Then she could just sign it. Made a spouse or.
So Rob, we think we could get that done in your office before the next meeting?
I think we could do the title search and know if we wanna put it for vote.
Then we
Approve
would
it,
vote
and then
to
once it's
accept it.
approved, then we can do a simple deed.
And then I just come to you and sign the deed over?
We might even come to you.
Okay, or we just meet up at the courthouse.
There you go.
There we go.
Okay.
Sound good?
So if that's direction from the
Is
board,
that all right, you guys?
I think that's a very generous offer.
Next
yes.
month, we'll vote on?
we'll plan, I'll connect with Rod, we'll try to get all the due diligence done that we need to get done, and then, we'll come back to the board for a vote to accept. Then at that point, we'll just execute
We
it.
still need to vote on this.
Yeah, if you, I would recommend continuing with demolition because it needs to come down anyway.
Yeah. I think that's a good take it on.
Yeah, you have to. Okay, all right.
So I'll need a vote, or a motion to vote on the demolition.
Yeah.
And approving the contract.
One would find a huge difference in bids.
Yeah, two were close and then one was way off. I don't know, I told.
Demolish it and build new.
I guess so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
step one, I thought maybe
I know.
you demolished the apartments back there.
Yeah, I'm not, we didn't talk to them, so we just assumed that maybe they were just curious about, I don't know.
Shoot for the stars.
Yeah, I guess. But the other two were close enough that we felt comfortable that they understood what the And we told them that there's a basement, you know, that there's other things.
So it's Carolina Clearing, so we wanna go with.
That would be my recommendation. They're the ones who bid on time and they're the low responsible bidder. And we've been in contact with them, let them know that they were the lowest bidder and that we would likely be awarded the contract, and he said he could get started this week.
Okay. All right, Mr. Carroll or Mr. Wilcox, or both will be getting in touch with you on the deed and stuff. once we get it
Okay.
all.
So,
Yeah.
so you are gonna accept that I can just transfer the deed over to the town?
Yeah, I think we have to look at it
Oh,
this
okay.
month and we'll vote on it next month at the meeting once we do our due diligence. Make
Uh-huh.
sure the title's clear, like you say. and
Yeah,
I don't doubt you, but
yeah, okay,
us lawyers gotta double check things.
okay.
Make
All right,
sure,
thank you,
yeah,
ma'am.
that's very
Thank you.
generous. Thank you, ma'am.
All right, do,
Yes, we've talked to them.
Um,
And they, you know, I don't know if you know Kurt Willis. He is a code enforcement. He's Kevin's boss.
Oh, okay.
He's worked for the town for a long time. He recommended these
Okay, good.
firms. Yep. That was the plan. 7 a.m. tomorrow. Unless I call them and tell them to not.
do I have approval for the contract for demolition of 200 Park Avenue?
I so moved.
Motion, do I have a second? Second, all approved, raise your right hand, say aye.
Aye.
7:30.
Very good. Thank you.
Okay, 6G, approval of the NCDEQ
SRF, yeah.
Water and Sewer Special Project Ordinance.
Yeah, we just have a lot going on in town, so thank you for your patience on all these items. So we just talked about a project ordinance related to the Drexel Industrial Site. This is a project ordinance related to our newly funded projects, at the Bryant Pump Station and at the water pump station. So as you recall, we received NCDEQ money, most of it being principal forgiveness to do these projects. So these are two project ordinances that we'll set up in our accounting software. The Bryant Road Pump Station and Sewer Line Rehabilitation Project being a $5 million principal forgiveness loan. And you will see the engineering, construction, administration cost for that, up to $5 million. And then the Water Systems Resiliency Improvements Project with a $5.9 million SRF Helene loan, and you'll see the engineering, construction, administration of that. So the reason we're doing this now is so we can start paying the engineer to perform the work. We do have some deadlines coming up next month that we're working on getting completed, and our engineers are working on this as we speak. So our first invoice with them will probably come next month. So I want to make sure that we have this funded and budgeted properly so that we can expend that money. And again, this will operate similar to a grant where we'll pay up front out of our water and sewer funds, and then I'll submit reimbursements through NCDEQ, and they'll process them and send us that money back with whatever's principal forgiveness to a certain level. They want you to go into active construction at a certain point. You can't just pay engineering forever. But we'll make sure those thresholds are met and that we're not on the hook for.
Engineering, is that McGill?
It's McGill. That's the one we selected, I think, last month or the month prior. Yes. So I'll just need motions and vote to approve both of those.
Do I have a motion to approve the Water and Sewer Special Project Ordinance?
I'll make a motion.
Motion, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, raise your right hand, say aye. Aye. 6H, discussion of developer agreement for Burn Street Townhouse project.
Yeah, she texted me earlier. She was unable to make it tonight, so we can talk about this now if you'd like to, or if you'd like to wait and have a further discussion with Teresa, we can. But I provided her a copy of a draft land development agreement that would be between them, and this was hopefully rectify some of the concerns you had, Harmon, about, roads, that kind of thing, making sure that they meet the guidelines of this agreement before, we approve everything. So they have a sketch approval at this point, but they don't have a final approval.
Is there anything about making sure the loop is paved?
Yeah, so pretty much any drawn up plans have to be completed to plan over a certain period of time. And again, it's kind of a dense, I don't wanna go through all of it, and you all can take some time to, we aren't voting on it this month, but the plan would be to enter in one of these agreements, we have to do a public notice and a hearing at the next board meeting. So you all could, this was, for discussion, if y'all had any thoughts on it, give that feedback to staff, and then we'll edit it up and hopefully next month be able to enter into that agreement on our side. And we'll go back and forth with the group too.
Is it too early for a start date?
Yeah, I think they're itching to go. So we're wanting to make sure we have this in place first.
Are we talking Bourbon Street?
Correct,
Right?
yes.
Behind the apartments?
The townhome community that they had plans.
13.
Is this something we're trying to make a standard as we go forward, or is this just Bourbon Street in general?
I don't think this has been a standard. I think typically we've just gone with the zoning regulations as they're written. I think given this is a large subdivision, the thought was to do one of these just to protect the town and its infrastructure. In fact, I think Teresa said she hasn't even done one of these before. I'm somewhat familiar with them. In my previous employer, we did these a lot, but we had a lot of development. So, I don't think it hurts to have an agreement in place that protects the town and make sure that, all the utilities and everything is put in place, that we have warranties on stuff like that, because how often will you put a water line in and then a year later it's busted, and it's like, what happened?
Well, this I think is a good direction, what we should keep doing, because what's the development that was over near the water tower?
Yeah,
It would apply similarly to that, wouldn't it?
yeah, that one didn't take off, but yeah.
But if that came around, or it's something like that would.
So if you all want to review this individually and provide feedback that you may have edits or anything to me in the next couple weeks, then I will get that drafted together, and then we'll be able to put that up for a public hearing.
How big is that lot?
It's like an
Okay.
So your .96.
0.96 maybe, yeah.
Bigger than what I was thinking, bigger than what it looks.
Yeah.
But
You'll
I'm
be
trying to
amazed.
think, how you gonna get 13 townhomes in
Yeah,
Are them trees and stuff have to be down
yeah, there'll be some, but they'll have green space in the center.
there?
Yeah, gotta be. Good deal.
It's a good piece of property though.
All right. Enough
Yeah, that's just for
everybody?
discussion, so unless there's feedback now, I'll just hope to hear from you in the next couple of weeks about it.
Everybody good?
Good.
All right, now we go to departmental reports, financial report.
All right. I have it actually printed off here. I had to wait till yesterday because the month ended, Sunday? So I wasn't able to pull the financials. Oh, you just need two, actually. I think Kristen's already got hers. All right. So, and for the audience, we do have that on the tables, the graph, which is the information we're going over in this document. So, for the board, we'll skip to page 2 as always. General fund, looking at the actual revenue, we are at 1.87 million versus a budget of 1.95 million. Our total expenses actual sat at 1.825 million versus a 1.95 budgeted. So our expenses are lower than anticipated, and our revenue is a little behind, but that's just because we had a planned fund balance transfer, which is like savings transfer, which we don't do till the end of the year when we audit. So that's the only reason that difference is there. And most of our savings in our general fund is because we do have that one-time bonus that's coming up. So salaries will take a hit this month, which will offset some of that additional expense we have. And other than that, yeah, everything is looking good in the general fund this year. Moving to electric fund on the next page, our total revenue set at 2.2 million versus the 2.1 million budgeted. Our expenses set at 2.03 million versus a 2.12 million budgeted. So we're again doing well in that fund, and it is currently profitable. Moving to water and sewer. Total revenue, 836,000 in revenue actual versus a budgeted 797,000. And a total expense, water and sewer, actual of 617,000 versus a budget 797,000. Again, we're profitable there, and remember, we're putting aside a lot of money for future work on the capital improvements plan, which, if you remember, there was big numbers on that. So, although we're very profitable currently, we anticipate spending some money down over the next few years on projects. So overall, the budgets, after our budget amendment last month especially, all our departments are shored up, and I don't anticipate another budget amendment unless something changes this month. But everything's within budget, and our two enterprise funds are profitable. And I can go over taxes.
Go ahead and go with taxes.
So taxes, turn to that. So this is as of April 30. We remember we have to do a month behind because of the way the county collects taxes. We have a delay of a month, but we are at 96.9% collected year to date as of April 30 versus last year, which was at 96. So we're actually almost 1% higher than last year. So we're well on track, and we still only have about $5,700 uncollected this year. Hopefully most of that rolls in the next month.
What's the collection cost?
Yeah, so as part of our contract with the county, we pay a 2% service fee on everything they collect. So currently it's at $10,191, which is less than we were paying for the technology to do it. Especially if you count staff time that it took.
Oh, that's great.
Thanks for asking.
Okay, you done?
I am done.
Chief Ritchie. We had a calm, cool, and very good going Saturday night, didn't we?
This past Saturday,
Yes.
pretty wild. Yeah, I was afraid to cross the street, actually.
Yeah.
That's on
I stayed on the other side. No, good evening. We had, in the month of May, police events and calls for service, 492, 6 reportable incidents, 4 closed cases, 4 arrests made, 15 traffic citations, another additional 6 traffic warning citations, and 1 other paper served. We had a pretty good meeting lined up with the Grow with Drexel group, May 19th, I believe it was. It was a Tuesday night. They allotted us, we spoke for about an hour. I think you allotted a half hour. Probably could have went 2 hours.
Yeah, Grow with Drexel meeting going up.
Oh yeah, we solved a lot of problems. No, but that was good, and our BLET recruit, I've got all his sponsorship paperwork, exams, everything ready to go for the college. So he is good to start next month, ahead of schedule. So we're happy about that. And last Saturday, we didn't anticipate any issues. We know Dan organized a good event, so we were expecting everything to be smooth, and it was. We had 2 officers down there for the 3-hour concert. So
Calm, cool, and collected. But your presentation to Grow with Drexel was very professional and very informative. Is really a good thing. Even though it was a little bit longer than Dan wanted to go, but I think we got a lot of good information out of it, didn't we, Dan?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, so I appreciate you doing that and helping us on that.
we're glad they did.
All right, thank you, sir. Chief Will.
For the month of May, we're still holding at 22 members on the roster. Total of 31 incidents we responded to with a response time of 4 minutes, which is the lowest we've ever had, but that probably won't last long. It would just do, yeah, it would just do the location and stuff. Nothing major to report. The structure fires, we had two within the town, but one was a cooking incident and one was contained to a stove. And the two search and rescues were inside the town. Both of those individuals were located within a fairly short amount of time.
Is the burn ban off?
No, it's off.
It is off?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm. Anybody got anything? All right, thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Oh, the new, semi-new truck, is about ready.
It is getting striped. We should be able to pick it up tomorrow.
Okay.
It should be back in town.
All right. They'll be ready to go after that.
Just gotta get it inspected,
Okay,
which should be in the next week or two.
okay,
But other than that, yeah, everything's going pretty good with it.
all right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Speaking of the question, how are we on the water restrictions? Are we still under one?
Yes, we still are under water restrictions. I was hoping that they would lower us to one level, but they didn't. So even with all the rain, we feel like we've been raining every day. It's still not caught up to the 12 inches behind we were. So we need a lot of rain. So still have restrictions in place. And we're just trying to, use our, community discussions. We're not trying to be too forceful with things. Just talk about that.
Okay, Miss Lisa. Have you got softball started yet with all this rain?
We got one game in. We'll start back Monday night. And it'll be double headers on Mondays. Just working around every town started a league. It seems like Valdez has even started back up with a league, from my understanding. So everybody's trying to cut everybody's throat on entry fees.
Oh, yeah.
So, but yeah, the adult softball started, adult outdoor soccer will be going on. We're finishing up with county baseball and softball games tonight. I've got games down there tonight, and we'll finish up with t-ball this week. We had field day for first graders. It went great. Miss McKinney was overly excited, and that she's moving to Hillcrest, but
Miss Reese is coming to town.
yes, and
Yeah, I
I
know-
have a
I
good
know her. She
relationship
was-
with her.
She was a teacher there when I was the head custodian.
Yeah, yeah. So
That's probably good. She's coming back to, she'll be good to work with.
yeah, I've already had a conversation with her, and we're gonna look at doing field day for all the grades instead of just first grade. So, and I don't know if copies were made, but I put out the summer schedule, and we'll have pickleball on Monday nights, and we're gonna start the senior well. So the dates are on there. I'll be putting it on the website. It's on the Huffman website, but we'll try to get it out as much as we can get it out. I've done put it at all the schools. So
Lot going on. Had a lot of compliments from the COG people about the room, about the way everything was set, and everything. They were very complimentary, at least to us, so they were anyway. So we appreciate your help and work on that part of it. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Mhm.
All right, Mr. Jacob, come up forward for a minute, please, sir. Tell us about the bike rodeo, please.
It was for the first 2 hours before the storm clouds started moving in. We had 25 kids there on average. Whole time, some from Lenore, some from Drexel, some from Valdez, some from Morganton. We had participated in an event like this several years ago when Morganton held it. So for being the first time we held it, there was all positives, and we had more than I remember when we participated when my son was younger at Morganton. So I think it went well.
Is that
We gave out-
is it gonna be a yearly thing, or are you gonna do it more than once a year?
I think it went well enough, but I'll talk to everybody else before I answer that question.
Okay. Okay. Have you got anything in the near future?
Because how well everything went with the process of renting it and doing this, the Cub Scouts outside, not Growth Drexel, but Cub Scouts have rented it Tuesday night, June 9th. And if it goes well for that, that will be annually. guarantee you I can speak for the Cub Scouts for that. But Don was more than, he was professional, courteous, kind. He even pulled out a trophy he won in a bicycle radio back in the 70s. So it went really well. Thank you
All
guys.
right, thank you. Mr. Hall, please come forward. Tell us about Saturday night.
Well, it went very well, and certainly everybody, a lot of people give the Grow of Drexel credit for, but it was, of course, a Town of Drexel event, and Bill's been gracious enough to let Grow of Drexel do the concessions for a couple of years. And Drew and I, the alcohol sale thing went very well. I will remind everybody that it was your decision to make that approval of the alcohol sale, which did get a little bit of commentary on social media. It's an event by event basis. So, and it's a long process each time. So we don't anticipate doing that anytime in the near future. I mean, we'd have to come to the board, get 30 days. Bill, isn't that the way it's worded, 30 days in advance?
Yeah, but we would have to make sure we get plenty of time ahead of time to make sure we.
Plus
But
getting,
you gotta get all the permitting.
plus getting the permit.
Which they were pretty quick once they received.
Once they got it, yes. But overall, we were very pleased and appreciative. And Grow with Drexel made probably $350. The Drexel Museum with the half and half tickets, and I think they got the tips from the bartender, if I'm not mistaken. They probably made about $200 out of it. So we were very pleased with all of it. And we appreciate the chance to
I
do
know
all
our
that.
next plan is in October. Is it the fact that it's hard to get a band or get a group together to have it more often than to have it more often?
The town sponsors it, and the town, Mr. Carroll the town is very gracious to pay the acts that we've had $800 each. So that's a factor. And people say, well, can't we do this every weekend? It's the rental of the park. It's the who pays a band. There's a lot of moving pieces to all of it.
Okay.
Bill, is that a pretty good explanation?
Yeah, I
of
mean,
it?
we can do it as often as we'd like. It would just be a cost, obviously. And there's a logistics behind how much time we're gonna dedicate staff time. Without Dan and Drew, I don't even know we'd be able to do it because of the amount of time that they volunteer to help get it accomplished.
I wouldn't mind seeing at least once a month.
It's really hot in the middle of the summer. That's another issue.
Okay. All
But
right.
I will also say that within our Grow with Drexel board, we have several members here this evening. We are certainly open to doing more small things in the park this summer. Storytelling, some watermelon giveaway. I mean, we're open to all kinds of things. As long as we don't have to rent the park.
Well, yeah, we just adopted the budget, which the rental fee for the park for a nonprofit is $0.
Okay, I like that. Thank you very much. But we're open to discussing it within our board of other things we can do, it's a beautiful park and it's got potentially a lot of uses.
Yeah, is Grow with Drexel got anything to do with the storybook?
We voted not to be an official sponsor, but several of us, the Scouts, for example, are going to be, they've taken ownership of changing out the books every month, Jacob?
At least, if not, or 2 weeks minimum.
Something like that. And we support it. We just did not choose to adopt it formally as one of our projects.
Okay.
It's more of a Burke River Trail project.
Right. Okay. Thank you, sir.
And someone bring up something, we
Go ahead.
discussed a while back about doing a 250 celebration, some sort of recognition.
Right.
I don't know that we've.
Yeah, so Lisa and I talked about it. Cause we talked about doing it at the Oro Open Center, doing something small. We haven't formalized any plans. I don't know if Lisa, you've done anything since we talked.
I've got a few things I was gonna come up today, and I'm just trying to get ready for games, I was gonna come up.
My thought is do it early in the day and cut like from 10 to 2, no, don't cut into the Valdez Morgan stuff in the evening.
Right.
So
Just a little something in the morning.
Yeah, so Glen Alpine's parade, which is the county parade, is happening at 10. And then they're doing something till 2, I think.
Yes.
So we probably wouldn't be after that, or at the tail end of that. And if we don't do it outside, I mean, we might have some stuff outside, but if we do it kind of during that afternoon, I think we'll be good and miss our competitors. So yeah, we talked about it. We haven't formalized anything, which we are running out of time, so we probably need to do that.
I definitely think we need to do something for the 250.
Yeah, I agree.
you know, we used to do something every 4th of July, have a good big thing with that kind of faded out, so. I remember that from the younger days, don't you, Dan? So, okay, work on that, Lisa. And get a bill and see what we can do.
Lisa, work on that.
Well, you know,
We'll get together.
All your free time, take care of
Yeah.
that.
And
I
again,
have nothing to do.
as we discussed, we didn't plan on doing like fireworks or anything.
No.
like
No,
that.
no,
We
no.
do that in August. Everybody, towns around here. do that.
If I want fireworks, they go to Morgantown about it, we don't need to contend on that part.
So, but we'll certainly do something, and have some stuff inside that's nice and cool. So maybe it'll be a break from the outdoor activities.
All right. Anything else? Okay, that's all the department.
This Teresa's not here tonight, but we talked about the development plan and her reports.
Kevin's not here.
Kevin, when they would make it in. But his
Got
reports.
his report, if you look at his stuff at the back, if there be, is there anything on Kevin's? I don't think we answered or not.
What's that?
Because everything on his is mostly resolved.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he gets stuff normally gets turned around pretty quick.
He gets pretty good results. So, Mr. Wilcox, you have something, sir?
I won't have any.
Okay. Mr. Manager, go for it.
Yeah, I did want to share that I received a card today from the Western Piedmont Council of Governments. They said, Mayor, Council, Bill, and staff, thank you for hosting the WPCOG Policy Board meeting. The location and food were great! Exclamation mark. We appreciate your partnership and support. Best regards, Anthony Starr. And then I, of course, want to call out especially Lisa and Kayla, who helped get things set up. And then, of course, Kristen, who helped with the logistics of getting all the food ordered and whatnot. And then Roundhouse Brisket catered the event, and it was really good. So, highly recommend them for any catering anybody may need. And other than that, not too much going on other than a potential 4th of July event, which more to follow very soon. We'll have a regular meeting on July 7th at 6, and our offices will be closed on Independence Day. Well, it's recognized on July 3rd on the federal calendar, so July 3rd offices will be closed. I will mention I will be going on a vacation on June 22nd through that week, but I'll be available via phone if something were to come up. Now that we've adopted a budget, I can take a vacation.
Well deserved.
Thank you. And that's all I have for that.
And we do have closed session tonight.
We do.
We do. All right. Closed session proceed to 143-318.11.A.3 and 6 to preserve attorney-client privilege and consider performance of public employee. So, do I have a motion to go into closed session? Second. First, have a second.
I'll say.
Second, all in favor, raise your hand and say aye. Aye. All right. Thank you, folks. Appreciate everybody.
Let me go across the street here. Quick night, very nice. Thanks for coming.
I think we're gonna make it.